Bitcoin is currently fighting its previous all-time high at $69,990. However, things are not looking so strong for BTC this Sunday. With the weekly close looming, what could happen for BTC next could shock so many investors. Today, we are jumping into the world of Bitcoin technical analysis and all that wonderful stuff. As I get into today's video, smash that like button if you do find it useful and informative. Let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And today we are, of course, jumping into that technical analysis on Bitcoin. Here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the 4-hour Binance chart. And well, we can see that we are fighting in this upper area right here. Previous all-time high that actually happened at 12 o'clock on the 8th of March at $69,990 is the area of resistance that we find ourselves in at the moment. The previous high at $69,000 has formed this little area of interest right inside here, and we are in this range between $69,000 and $69,990. And you know, we are looking, and a lot of investors are looking at potentially breaching up higher and continuing to go into price discovery. However, I think there are a few concerns with the price being where it is today, and of course a weekly close looming. This weekly close, normally on a Sunday, we see extreme volatility for BTC as the bulls and the bears fight out for that closed position on the weekly time frame. That close has usually got a lot of fighting, lots of volatility with moves up and moves down, lots of liquidations, and is a high risk trade environment. So we want to be really cautious as we try to jump into the world of Bitcoin here. So as we can see, we do have ourselves some higher highs going on with the price action. At the same time as the higher highs, or at least right in here, let me show you. Right here are your higher highs. We also have higher lows over here as well. And you're seeing is basically coiling up into a little bit of a triangular pattern. As you can kind of see right here, you get this little apex just forming out for BTC. And so this is going to be the area of concern because it is an area where we can then see either a breakdown or a break to the upside. Okay, and I believe that we're actually more than likely going to see the bears take control of the situation and drop back down towards $66,000. And of course, you know, back down towards the 50 SMA and the 50 EMA. The blue line coming through here is the 50 EMA at 65,668. The yellow line is the 50 SMA that comes in at 65,845, and these are the areas that we're going to look for support, as these have been areas of support in the past. Okay, so this is what we're going to look for to try to find support. If we can't keep those as support, then we're going to be talking about coming back down into the range of immense demand, which is between $59,000 and $61,000. Okay, so for now, this is an interesting point, but I say it's weak because of where our stochastic RSIs are. Our stochastic RSIs on the 1 hour, 4 hour, 8 hour timeframes are all up in this overbought area, and it's not a strong place for Bitcoin to be on a Sunday like today, where we have extreme volatility with the bears and the bulls fighting out for a stronger close position. And to put them at the forefront of next week's trading patterns, they're going to be looking to try to take over some key areas, i.e. the bears are going to look to try to bring the price of Bitcoin down, and the bulls are going to look to try to rally it and keep the price high. With the stochastic RSIs looking the way that they are, the market is quite exhausted, meaning that it's unlikely to have continued upward momentum on this Sunday. And in fact, we are likely to see maybe some selling pressure as price starts to cool off down. Now, if we take off the stochastic RSIs and throw on the divergence indicator, you can see on our 4 hour time frame, we have some bearish divergence appearing here. Let me show you what that looks like. We had the bearish divergence here. Okay, we saw this immediate dump down. Okay, I think this was like a 14% move. Let me just check. Right, when we had this divergence initially appear here, it was a 14.1% move. We've had bearish divergence appear here, and we have still gone up a little bit higher. And so with this, we want to be aware that we haven't really seen this bearish divergence flag actually play out. We've gone up into higher highs here. The RSI has actually lifted up a little bit, kind of negating the idea of this bearish flag, but it does still indicate to us a bearish indication, I should say, on the divergence indicator, not a bear flag. But we should be kind of cautious here to say that, okay, we've had this maybe false flag in terms of a bearish divergence, but it hasn't yet played out. So I want to be aware of that. Now, if we bring this up into our 1 hour time frame, you can see there was some hidden bullish divergence after the hidden bearish. Let's go ahead and check those out. You can see that we've been stuck in this little ranging market just here. On the 1 hour time frame, small move to the downside, hidden bullish divergence took us back up into that most recent swing high. That was basically 4 a.m. this morning. And yes, so from here, we can see that that hidden bullish divergence has now played out. The RSI, the relative strength index on the 1 hour time frame, is in fact overbought. If we take this to the 8 hour time frame, which is the other time frame that is heavily overbought on the stochastics, you can also see the RSI is in the overbought range. Taking a look at this, our bearish divergence, which did play out beautifully with that 14% move, and there are no other divergences here on the 8 hour time frame. And so what I'm really talking to you guys about here is that there's a high probability that we are likely to see rejection in this higher range. And we can also note that there's an insignificant amount of volume trying to push and break this move to the upside, also backing up the idea that we're likely to see a move to the downside. In fact, all of this move to the upside has had a decreasing volume, showing us that there has been a lack of interest in buying as price has been pushing upwards. So we've gone up into higher highs, but the volumes have been going down into lower highs, essentially showing us that there's weakness in the move to the upside. This is kind of what the stochastic RSIs are also showing us with our stochastic RSI indicator here. We can see overbought, indicating that there isn't a lot of momentum to this move to the upside, and we are and will be, in my opinion, looking for a move to the downside overall. So although we have some price action that's indicating moves to the upside, my expectation will be that today we'll have a move to the downside, gearing up for a bigger move back to the upside tomorrow. I could be wrong on that, but I would expect to see a bit of a sell-off on this Sunday for that weekly close. In fact, let's bring up our weekly time frame here because we have had a reasonable. I'm just going to go ahead and clear out some of these lines. I don't need these all on here. And I'll snap in our percentages, right? We've moved up 352% since, I believe, November of 2022. So 350% for Bitcoin. A lot of people kind of losing their heads when they think about how low it was. 15,476 to 69,990. Like the dollar value seems really impressive, but the percentage points are really kind of pathetic in terms of cryptocurrency investing, right? Altcoins typically overperform this very, very easily. So Bitcoin, although has progressed up quite nicely, 352%, it really is a really piss poor performance overall, because if we take a look at altcoins during the same period, we can talk about, let's say Cardano moving up quite significantly. Let's take a look at Solana moving up quite significantly, and maybe even some more of those AI-based projects moving up absolutely insane percentages. Bitcoin really isn't the play for significant percentage gains being made. Gains, yes, but they're not significant, really. Not unless you're investing millions and millions of dollars into Bitcoin, of course. So it's good to see that we've had some growth in Bitcoin, but it's really not all that important. And when we take a look at total 3, which is basically total market cap excluding Bitcoin, you can see just how we are nowhere near all-time highs for the altcoin market just yet. We're about 0.15% away from it. So just bear in mind that although Bitcoin's price movements have gone to the upside, they're quite, kind of meaningless to a point, because a lot of normal, regular retail investors are not looking at Bitcoin to become millionaires. Those times have kind of sailed, in my opinion, but good growth for Bitcoin. And of course, we know that if you exclude Bitcoin, you exclude Ethereum out of the equations. Altcoins, generally speaking, haven't yet really rallied that much. We've still got so much more in the tank. And so on this weekly time frame, what are the bulls looking for? Well, the bulls are going to look for a close above 69,000. I think, to be fair, a close above 65,519 will be pretty bullish overall. But I think 69K will give a really clear signal. If we can get a closed weekly candle above 69K, that's going to be the strong area for the bullish, for the bulls, right? And the bears are ultimately really going to be talking about trying to get a closed position below 65,519, because what that's going to do is it's going to show you that there's this area right up here, this previous area. I mean, you might even argue 65K. Let's go ahead and argue 65K, because this area right here, where we had seen previous area of rejection, is where the bears are going to want to close below, because if they can close below 64,854, that's going to send a clear sell signal to a lot of investors, because it's showing you that there's a weakness area right up the top here that we previously tapped into in April 2021, and then of course November of 2021. If the bears can close down lower than this, which is going to be a bit of a challenge, but if they can, 64,854, then that's going to send a very clear sell signal to many different day traders and cryptocurrency traders out there. The bulls, of course, any closed position above 64,854 is going to be good, but realistically above 69K is going to send a really good clean buy signal to many investors as well, with good strong areas of breaking through this previous resistance. So I think for the most part, we've got a lot of volatility to see today. And wherever the closed candle ends on this weekly time frame is going to be sending a pretty clear signal for next week. So whether you are bullish or bearish, you kind of have a bit of an idea as to kind of what those numbers are looking like for Bitcoin. But again, the Bitcoin spot ETFs, maybe they're completely separate and completely isolated to the technical analysis within BTC USDT pairings, and might actually just do something totally different. We've seen a lot of demand for the Bitcoin spot ETFs, and if that continues, then we're more than likely just going to continue surging to the upside. But I've said it before and I'll say it again, the money that is going into the Bitcoin spot ETFs, although it is going directly into Bitcoin, is never going to roll out of Bitcoin into the altcoins. And that is why you see the altcoins lagging so far behind Bitcoin. It's because that money hasn't yet come into the crypto ecosystem. And that's really what we need to do. And it's going to happen once we actually see a significant amount of demand coming in and more eyeballs coming into the crypto space outside of the ETF plays. That is stock market money that's going to stay in the stock market, in my opinion. It's not going to roll out of those ETFs and then people are going to go set up their own Coinbase accounts and then start trading spot on altcoins. It's very unlikely that's going to be the case. There might be pockets of that, but for the majority, very unlikely in my opinion. You can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below, and I will catch you all in the next one. But until then, why don't you check out this video right here where JB is going through his thoughts on what is going on with BTC.